What up, it's Snowflake! And I'm going to show you how to do some keyframing to zoom in and out of images in Final Cut Pro 7. So first I'll just give you a little example here. This is a documentary I'm working on. You can just sort of look and you'll see that they sort of do it like a slow zoom in on the picture and then a slow zoom out, and I kind of go back and forth between those motions.
Exploration and expedition and excavations that were going on in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so
That's like just like what I'm going to show you how to do here. So we're going to go over this other sequence I created, and it's got two different images here. I found the creepiest images I could find. Here is the first one over here on the right, and then the second one, and I'm going to do just a zoom in and a zoom out. All right, on the two different images. So first, let's start with this one. I'm going to open it up in my viewer. I'm going to double click it, open it up in my viewer, and I'm going to go into the motion tab. And in the motion tab, what I can do is I can set the keyframe here. These are your keyframes. I'm going to select a keyframe, and then unless you're going to rotate it, you don't need to add a keyframe here. But I like to add a keyframe on the center option as well, because that allows you to sort of move it, shift the photo. Cool? So then what I do is I go to the end of that photo, and I go back one frame, and I add another keyframe on the scale and on the center. All right, and then all you got to do is type in a value that's larger than what was there to begin with. So depending on how fast or how slow you want it to zoom in, I'll type in 130, excuse me, and you'll see that that creates this slow zoom motion, right? Now the other thing to think about is that I don't like it. I like to get rid of those black bars on the side, so I don't like the black bars there. So I'm gonna have the starting point over here be like, let's try 140, right? So we're already actually, the full frame is the picture. Then we're gonna go over to my other keyframe here, and we're gonna change this one to like 160. And then this creates this cool zooming in effect, right? Now for this one, I'm gonna have it zoom out. So I like to do this zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. That's kind of like the motion that I keep for my photos. I'm going to do the same thing here, only for this one. I'm going to double click it, open it up in my viewer, click here, keyframe here, and keyframe on center and scale. The same thing over here. I move back one frame, and I do scale and center. For this one though, we're going to start all the way zoomed in, so I'm going to start at like 160. Well, let's try 150. And this is where we can mess with the centering, and I'm going to have the centering start there, and then when we get over here, I'm going to change this to like 130. And then I can just sort of drag this where I want it. And then this creates this zooming out feel to it. Now, if you're going to add a cross dissolve between these two, you'll notice that when you do it, because I started my keyframe here, I started at the beginning of the clip and I ended it here, you're going to have to take a chunk out of the middle. So what I'll do is I'll take a chunk out right here, and I'll just kind of like maybe do that. I'll do the same thing for this other photo, here and here. And I'm taking the middle, and then basically when I add the cross dissolve, that continuous motion of the zoom in and zoom out just cross dissolves over one another. And that's really all there is to keyframing for an image or really anything else. Just adding the keyframe and setting your different values. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, make sure to like and comment on the video, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel. And check back later for more tutorials and tips on Final Cut Pro 7, Apple Motion, and Compressor. Thank you.